In the morning I said to them, you've been helping yourselves, leaning on my shoulders all night, now I can't feel my shoulders. Someone shouted, Mr. Lin, emergency. Worriedly she said, earlier, I had sent some disciples to Wave City to find out what the matter was, but the natives said that there had been a fierce battle last night. All the remaining Fiend Sect members in the city withdrew. I asked, and then? Have you seen any of the bodies of the righteous? And I thought I hoped Jian Yuan made it out alive. She explained, actually no, but according to some accounts, at daybreak, a man dressed in the garb of our Verdant Sect and covered with blood came out of the gate with a sword in his hand. I replied, all right, got it. And I thought, man, Jian Yuan is indeed something. With his cultivation just at the peak of the mystique phase, he straight up took down the Great Witch Master, who was at a nascent soul. I told them, give everyone the heads up that we're hitting the road again, and I thought, according to the novel, the 8 Fiend Sects plan to pollute the branch spirit veins around the Verdant Sect, gradually spreading toxicity to the original spirit vein, affecting our disciples' cultivation levels, and facilitating then 8 Fiend Sects to besiege the Verdant Sect. Although I'm destined to leave before this plot unfolds, now I can preempt it and reduce the casualties at the Verdant Sect. Over the next 2 days, I led my fellow disciples to the Great Black Mountain near Wave City, found the contaminated branch spirit veins, and, with the combined power of all my fellow disciples, split it in two, severing its connection to the original spirit vein. What surprised me was that my 2 junior sisters were so prescient pinpointing the source of contamination in the spirit veins, and Zhu Wangming was even quicker, single-handedly burning down the source of the corpse poison on half of the mountain. I questioned myself, everyone's so capable, what should I do? And I thought, based on some previous events, I've come up with a bold guess, but without evidence, I'll set it aside for now. The 2 groups then returned in triumph, without even paying attention to Ye Chen of Sky Peak and his team. After a whole day's jolting, we finally returned to our sect in the southern part of the eastern realm of Central Continent. I said to them, it's good to be home, she said, Mr. Lin, I am going back to Melodic Peak first to report to my master, so I shall take my leave. I replied to Wang Ning, all right, take care. I said to them, let us also report back to the master. She called me Xiao. I replied, Ing, and I thought I almost forgot about her. I didn't even say goodbye to her when I left. My bad. She jumped up from her pet and hugged me. I nervously said, hey, calm down, steady your lion eagle. I accidentally grabbed her thigh and blushingly I thought, is she wearing those white stockings again? This texture so smooth, and I was blushing profusely thinking I should not go too far, but that's illegal. And we left from there on our beast. Blushingly girls behind them were thinking, see, Ying has locked into Xiao with her legs. She said to Yue, let's not argue for now, and don't let Ying have her way, and Yue agreed. She was hugging me and I requested to Ying, you can let it go now. Ying replied, no, she said to Ying, do you not think it is not appropriate to hold Xiao in such a way in public? Also Yue said to Ying, right now, Xiao is leading a fiend-slaying mission in Wave City and still has to report back to Jinren Ziyan at Long Peak and Master at Fairy Cliff. So, please don't disturb him. I told Ying, enjoy yourself for a moment. I'll come to you when I have finished my business. Ying replied, no, I've been waiting for you for so long, I don't want you to leave now. Sweating while I was looking towards the 2 angry girls and thinking, according to the animes I watched in my past life, I would have been doomed by now. Cryingly Ying explained, I just want Xiao to stay longer with me. How can you say that of me? And asked, is it because I am a fool, unworthy of Xiao's affection? While crying she exclaimed, if it weren't for being injured by Ye Chen earlier, I could have gone with Xiao to fight. And asked, or is it you are his junior sisters, and I'm not? When they heard that, they were both shocked and they were both thinking, however jealous we may be, we must not involve Ying, she's sweet and innocent. She's just a naive little girl, what ill intentions could she even seduce Xiao? You wrong, exclaimed Xiao, we didn't say goodbye before we left, she'd been so worried all this time, maybe you should just spend some time with her today. Yue also exclaimed, yes, Xiao and I will report to Jinren Ziyan and Master, you just focus on accompanying Ying today. They were both upset when Ying replied, thank you for letting Xiao spend time with me. I love you guys so much. And said Xiao, you know I have missed you so much. I have more than once thought of sneaking down the mountain to Wave City to you, but Master caught me and brought me back, alas. I said, well, here I am, right? And asked Ying, I didn't have time to bid you goodbye as the situation was urgent. I apologize formally, and don't be angry, will you? Ying said, I can choose not to get angry, but... Sitting on me she said, I've waited so long and so patiently for you. Will you not reward me? Nervously I replied, you want a reward? Well, I had Huaishan bring back some local specialties. Ying said into my ear, you know exactly what I want. I pushed her aside and said, Ying, listen up. With a serious face I said, I can spoil you, but there have to be limits, and explained, as your senior brother, for instance, I can kiss your cheek, your forehead, and that's just the affection that goes from senior to junior. But once certain boundaries are crossed, things only get darker and darker, until you are in an abyss of darkness. A kiss on the lips changes the nature of things. That's definitely not okay. Got it? Ying started crying and said, but that time at the Lotus Legendary Abode, and asked when I kissed you, you didn't refuse, did you? Blushingly I explained that was because you were injured by Ye Chen and I didn't bear to refuse you. Stop it, Ying, you are now in the prime of your youth, and you ought to be thinking of diligent cultivation and striving to ascend to immortality, not these lewd well unreasonable things. Understand? And I thought before ascending to immortality it's necessary for me to pull Ying back on track to avoid going astray. That, of course, is just one reason. The biggest reason is trying to hold myself. I thought she's just sitting on my lap, and I'm already overwhelmed. While searching for something she said, Xiao, I don't want to hear your reasoning. Here, take this. After you've looked at it, maybe you will understand my thoughts. I asked, what is this ring? She replied, Xiao, do you remember that when we were kids, you helped me kill that black demon eagle, and took me to the Lu family's estate, just to remove my mind fiend? And I told her it's all in the past now. Why bring it up if you're already an excellent animal tamer? That's what matters. She said, yeah, but did you know? And explained, in my hometown when a grown girl gives a handmade ring to a boy, it signifies undying love. She said if the boy refuses. I was horrified and asked what would happen. She replied the girl will live alone, unmarried for life. Or with a creepy smile said she might kill her beloved and then herself so they can be together in the other world forever. Holy crap! I was frightened, thinking what a twisted admiration this is. Even I, a pervert, find perverse. She tried to explain, don't misunderstand, I love you so much I would never do anything to hurt you. She said with her teary eyes, Xiao, do you know, I have consulted numerous ancient texts, sought advice from over 100 spirit craftsmen in the sect, and selected the essence from more than 300 kinds of spiritual flowers and grasses to weave this heavenly heart ring. Covering her face and trying to explain the situation, I was planning to give it to you before you left for Wave City, but I didn't expect that you had already forgotten about me. I asked Ying, I was wrong about that, and said I already apologized. Please stop being mad, will you? She replied, I'm not mad anymore since you said that, I'm not mad. Blushingly she said, so Xiao, would you accept this ring? I was trying to say something but words were not coming from my mouth, and I was thinking, once I take this ring, it's like accepting her confession. Sooner or later I shall ascend to immortality and leave this world. If I accept it and then disappear after having a good time, won't that make me a jerk? Then suddenly an idea struck my mind, and I thought, unless there's an accident during the 5 Peaks tournament. I said to Ying, the 5 Peaks tournament is coming. I have to kick Ye Chen's ass. Let's talk about this later, okay? While I thought, honestly I have no idea how the final hurdle will play out, my statement just now was really a gamble, let's leave it to fate. She said, Xiao, have you ever thought you might not, and thought Xiao Ye Chen is the chosen one? He will definitely win the 5 Peaks tournament. She said to me, let's wait until after the 5 Peaks tournament. I'm waiting for your answer. I thought finally, I got through that and replied, okay, it's a deal. Ying was thinking it's for the best. If events unfold as they do in the Heaven Down memories, when Xiao and Ye Chen face off, Xiao will unleash a forbidden spirit tool in a fit of anger, and end up being sent to the cliff of reflecting by Master, enduring the scorn of others, and then I shall be the only light in his life and give him warmth. Everything will fall into place, and added, yes, as long as I can marry him and have a bunch of super cute babies. Even if I have to stay at the cliff or reflecting for a lifetime, so what? She got up and said, but until then, can you give me a straight answer? She asked, do you like me? I replied, well, I do like you. Sat down, and I was confusingly looking towards her. Blush all over her face, she said, Xiao, didn't you just say you must not kiss me on the lips until we are cultivation partners, but you may kiss me on the forehead, cheeks, and other places, and added, so I want you to kiss them. I was profusely blushing and thinking, like Master, she also painted her nails pink to make her all the more seductive. I thought, no way. How could I, as the chief disciple of Phoenix Peak, as a grown man, lose to you? If it were Xiao Hongling, then maybe I'd consider it. Blood was coming down from my nose, and I said, Ying, please calm down. She started crying and asked, so you never really liked me, did you? Nervously I replied, it's not about whether I like you or not. She said, nonsense. You won't even kiss my feet, and you say you like me? Forget it. I want nothing more. And I was thinking, she really knows how to handle me. Then my shadow was upon, and she screamed from the house, yes. Xiao, it feels so good. Sometime later an unknown person said, what a weird obsession you have. I replied, you had a blast, but you traumatized me so much, you know? Wiping my face, I further continued saying no. She just suddenly asked me if the corpse demon had been killed by Ye Chen. How did she know about the corpse demon? The Wave City incident hasn't been made public yet. Water dripping from my face, I thought there's something fishy going on. Not just her, but Yurong, Yue, and Zhu Wangning. Their conduct during the fiend-slaying mission was very unusual. They knew the plot and acted accordingly. Yurong and Yue also knew about my theft of the master's socks and had a grudge against it. Then an idea struck my mind and I thought, so is it possible that they are also reincarnators or space travelers who know the plot? Not 100% sure right now, but all the side plots are done. Let's see how they do in the upcoming key plot point, the Five Peaks tournament. Walking forward, I thought, speaking of which, it's been a few days since I spoke to Master. After comforting Ying, I should go visit Master next. In the Lotus legendary abode, Fairy Cliff. My master was resting on her bed while thinking, it's been 5 days, right? According to the Heaven Dao script, Yurong should have killed the corpse demon and come back by now. On this occasion, as one who knows the future, I did not interfere at all, so there shouldn't be any accidents, right? Got up and thought, no, even though the script says nothing about who the big shots are in Wave City, if any of them dare to harm Xiao, I will turn the city upside down. Looking towards her stockings, she further continued, thinking, exactly. If we wait any longer, Xiao will be bullied by others. How can I bear that? So what if I disrupt the Heaven Dao prophecy? I, Xiao Hongling, have more than once fought against fate in this life. The future is meant to be broken and changed. Blush all over her face, she thought, would he be glad to see me in this? She was putting the stockings on her, then suddenly I entered and said, Master, I'm back. Surprise? We were both shocked, looking towards each other and embarrassed. I tried to run from there while thinking in my mind, does she wear black stockings when I'm not around? Is she thinking of me? Looks like she's afraid of being alone. Ha ha. Say something to break the ice. She stopped me and asked, did you see that? Blood coming out of my nose, I replied, I didn't see anything. When she heard that, she was very gloomy and I was confused. Then she teleported me from there and said with a dark face, I've been too lax in disciplining you, and shouted, today, let me teach you some manners. And a bright light started coming towards me and sweat was dripping all over my face, then trembling all over. I said, no master, I can't take it anymore. And I thought during the duel, I dodged her sword moves 87 times with my drunken monster and triggered the wine deity spell to resolve her sword momentum about 60 times. Could it be that my swordsmanship level has improved again? Nervously I further thought, or is it the blessing of unrivaled celestial technique? Don't scare me like that. If I am that strong, how am I to fight tomorrow against Ye Chen? She said, not bad, after going through Wave City, you've actually reached the mystique phase. I knew I didn't read you wrong back then, you're truly a once-in-a-lifetime sword cultivator genius. Suddenly she grabbed my chin and told me, look into my eyes. Shocked, I thought my divine consciousness is invaded. I slowly opened my eyes and said, Master, what's wrong? She replied, your mystique incarnation, that sword. It's terrifying, I feel like I've seen it somewhere before, and further added, forget it, let's not bring this up. Maybe I'm overthinking it. And told, you're really strong now. There are not more than 3 men in the younger generation of the Verdant Sect who can beat you. Even when I was young, I was afraid I could only fight you to a draw. I was thinking, in fact, I felt more and more that my surge of strength had something to do with Ye Chen. I had stagnated at the Foundation establishment for over a decade before Ye Chen came in and was unable to move beyond it. But after Ye Chen joined the sect, in just over a month I went from the Foundation establishment to the mystique phase. This is all deliberate manipulation by the system. The girl's abnormalities, the system's manipulations. After today all the truths will be revealed. Maybe I'm about to finish my part and ascend to immortality soon. There's something I must say before I leave this world. I said, Master, there's something I want to tell you. She replied, what do you want to say? I'm listening. I was trying to say something while thinking in my mind, I can easily say this to other girls, why can't say it to her? I turned around, and an announcement was made, heads of the 5 peaks and all disciples, listen up. Due to the agitation of the fiend sects and the tense situation between the righteous and demonic factions of the Eastern Realm, the 6 saints have rescheduled this year's 5 peaks tournament to tomorrow at noon. The Kind Sword Academy and Immeasurable Zen Sect will send their chief saintess and saint of Zen as representatives. Please be prepared and uphold the prestige of our righteous way of cultivation. My master told me the 5 peaks tournament is now ahead of time, and tomorrow you'll face off against Ye Chen. You just have to give it your all. And the rest. And further added, leave it to me. Got it. She said, oh, yes, what were you going to say just now? Tonight I will grant you whatever you wish. And she told me, then I'll say it. I hope you will not cut me short and let me finish in one go. I said, Master, you have nurtured and cared for me for the last dozen years. I never thanked you. I shouted while bowing my head. Now, take my kowtow, master. She was worried and called my name Xiao. I further said also, I want to tell you that if one day, when I am not around, please take care of yourself. Drinking alcohol is bad for your health, and remember to tend to the flowers and plants in the Lotus legendary abode, or else strange bugs will appear. I know you are afraid of nothing but these little things. Oh, right, you love the spirit crispy cakes I make, and I taught it to Steward Wang. And I added, it strikes me that I have spent quite a lot of energy over the years in your service, master. She shouted at me, that's enough. I do not want to hear you say such things. I replied, I am your master, so naturally you should serve me. Why bother with others? Averting her gaze, she told me, I only want you to serve me. Crush Ye Chen ruthlessly in the 5 Peaks tournament. Then come back to me. I'll make you serve me for the rest of your days. Got it? Worriedly, I was thinking the thought of not wanting to leave is stronger than ever. So is she the one I care for most in this vast Verdant Sect? She told me, all right. Xiao. Even if you lose tomorrow, it's okay. Even if you don't win, you'll still be my disciple. But and she left from there saying, you are not allowed to say such nonsense in the future. Jumped from the saying, so emotional, I hate this. While I shouted, there's one more thing, master, that I have not yet told. Wherever I may be, and I shouted, I will always love you. She was leaving from there while her heart was beating fast, and she was thinking Xiao, actually, and she suddenly thought, wait. The love Xiao mentioned, how could it be the meaning I understood? He's my disciple, the one I raised with my own hands. I have not indeed kept the ways of being a master. And added, anyway. It's best to leave this place now. I'm not myself. In the Cloud's Palace Long Peak. Wang Ning explained. As Yurong said, the greatest credit for this action lies with Chief Lin of Phoenix Peak. It was under his command. Further added that we were able to intercept the spirit vein source contaminated by the fiends, and defeat 3 fiend sect experts, the Corpse Demon, Soul Heaven Sect's young master Jiao Yen, and the Yin Child. This time the chiefs of the 3 peaks acted together, and the focus was initially on Chief Xu, but now unexpectedly it has become Lin Xiao's credit. The sect leader said, there's been quite a misjudgment over the years, Hongling. You have indeed taken in a disciple who respects his master, values Tao, and is distinguished for his abilities. Then the fat men said, say, elders, have you all forgotten? And further stated, in this Wave City battle, it wasn't just those 3 no-names including Yin Child who bit the dust. Ghost Witch sect was almost completely wiped out. The sect leader replied, well, if it weren't for Yuan Yi's reminder, we might have forgotten. And told Wang Ning, Yurong, was it also Chief Lin who took the initiative to solve the fiends of Ghost Witch sect? They were both going to say something, then suddenly Ye Chen and said, greetings, elders. I am Ye Chen, the chief disciple of Sky Peak. He said, as Ms. Xu said, it may be that the minions, such as Yin Child and Jiao Yen, were all killed by Chief Lin's efforts. But Great Witch Master from Ghost Witch sect and the 3,000 bronze armor corpses, with their 500 disciples, all fell by my sword. The nearby people began to talk. Wasn't Ye Chen still in the early stage of the mystique phase? Yet he defeated many Ghost Witch sect experts and killed the Great Witch Master at the nascent soul stage. He has the same invincible demeanor as Xiao Hongling from 200 years ago. He said, Elder Shi, did you see that? This adoration from the crowd brought back that awe-inspiring sensation. He replied, alas, you are shameless. I have no choice but to associate with people like you. It's shameful. That day, after Ye Chen slashed the innocent fellow disciple, he destroyed Lin Xiao's token and took credit for the accomplishments of others. In the following days, Ye Chen forced me to teach him secret technique of burning blood and only returned to the sect after breaking through in seclusion. He said, rest assured. In tomorrow's 5 Peaks tournament, I will definitely defeat Lin Xiao. And make him, the chief disciple of the Phoenix Peak, feel worse than death by depriving him of all dignity in the presence of his junior sisters and master. Elder Shi said to Ye Chen, alas my friend, don't be too optimistic. And further added, as I told you before, while secret technique of burning blood can indeed rapidly increase your cultivation, it's precisely because of this that the foundation laid in each phase is not stable. And, because the technique is against the Heaven Tao, it burns away some of your luck and life essence in the process of cultivation. With a dark face he replied, Elder Shi, you've told me all this before, it's okay. As you say, I am the chosen one with boundless luck and the greatest man in the world. A little luck sacrificed is nothing. As for essence. With a crazy smile Ye Chen continued saying, we can refine some nourishing immortal pills in the future, or find a saintess from the Union sect and use her body to replenish it through sex. In the Enlightenment Cliff, Long Peak. He was saying, Haoyang, I'm back from Wave City, but unfortunately, Yuron killed the Corpse Demon before I could do so to avenge you. Well, my trip wasn't entirely fruitless. I managed to execute the Great Witch Master of the Ghost Witch Sect and took down some of their elite members. This means that during the upcoming attacks by the 8 fiend sects on our sect, we will face less defensive pressure and fewer casualties among our disciples. With a beaten face he further continued saying, I was planning to use the Crescent Slash to perish with Dark Blood Demon when it broke free from its seal, weak and vulnerable, but I don't think I could make it now. Anger in his eyes he further added, in the battle with the Great Witch Master, I only suffered a few broken ribs and damaged meridians. However, I was ambushed by Ye Chen. I got hit where it really hurt my essence. Plunging his sword into the ground, he thought, I may not remember his face, but that black sword screams Ye Chen. In this world, only the Chosen One can strip away my essence. I, a time traveler, can't withstand a single blow from him. I can't accept this. He shouted, No! I must pull myself together. I can't fall before using that move to kill the Dark Blood Demon. I won't quit. Then a man said, Chief Lin, Mr. Jian returned to the sect yesterday and is currently in seclusion for recuperation. It might not be convenient for him to meet with you. I replied, it's good that he returned safely. I won't bother him then. He told me, Chief Lin, I'm sorry, and I started thinking it must be Jian Yuan who killed the Great Witch Master, right? How did Ye Chen manage to take credit for it? The plot has completely shifted. Let's hope tomorrow's 5 Peaks tournament doesn't throw any curveballs. Yurong was peeking at me from a rock and thinking, Xiao, if your battle with Ye Chen is an unchangeable fate, then let it be. Blushing she further thought, I, Yurong, swear to the heavens. If you truly suffer a downfall tomorrow and Master punishes you by letting you go to the Cliff of Reflecting, then I will stay by your side, Xiao. Perfect, we can stay there undisturbed, just the two of us. Then suddenly some called her from behind Yurong. She asked, Yue, what brings you here? Why are you still up so late? She replied, what does that mean? Can't I be here if you are? She further added, Yurong, according to tomorrow's lineup, I'll represent Phoenix Peak in the first round, Ying in the second, and your opponent is the most terrifying. Yurong told her, are you afraid I'll lose to Zhu Wangming? Don't worry unnecessarily, even though she managed to win against me in the last tournament, don't forget, I've also been the champion before. She replied, alas, Yurong, being overly confident isn't a good thing, and she thought according to the Heaven Dao memories, Yurong will still lose to Zhu Wangming tomorrow, and Ye Chen will comfort her and defeat Zhu Wangming, winning her heart. Although I hate her competing with me for Xiao. I can't stand seeing her being deceived by that scumbag Ye Chen. Yurong said to Yue, maybe in some unknown timeline, I might lose to Zhu Wangming, but in this world, I swear to defeat her tomorrow. She replied, alas, I was thinking of suggesting we swap our matchups. I could take on Zhu Wangming, leaving you to deal with that scoundrel Ye Chen. With a shocked face she replied, is this really what you think? I misunderstood you. She said to Yurong, whether you have any misunderstandings about me doesn't matter, and asked what matters is Xiao's safety. She told Yue, let's fight with all our might tomorrow. Since we're both doing it for Xiao, let's put aside our differences for now. Since we've grown up, we've been competing for Xiao's attention for so long that we haven't had a proper conversation. Opening her arms she added, since we have a common goal, let's embrace each other before the battle. They were both having each other, and Yue told, actually as long as Xiao isn't taken away by someone else, maybe sharing with you wouldn't be such a bad idea. I am the Fairy Pool Melodic Peak. Wangming said, greetings, Master. He Master asked her, what's on your mind, Wangming? Further added, alright, you've been raised by me since you were little, no need for formalities between us, and said Wangming, since you came back from Wave City, I noticed you've been restless. Is it because of tomorrow's 5 Peaks tournament? Wangming replied, I'm fine, Master, sorry for causing you concern. She said, if it's not about the tournament, then it must be. Well, you can hide it from others, but not from me. I am your master. After all this, she asked, because of a boy, right? She was blushing and trying to explain, no. I'm focused on cultivation and have no interest in romantic relationships whatsoever. Please trust me, Master. Her master was laughing and saying, hey, you're blushing. Still denying it? Let me guess, is it Xiao? She exclaimed, you're jumping to conclusions. It's not Mr. Lin. There's nothing but pure respect between Wangming and Mr. Lin. Her master replied, good girl, falling for someone as excellent as yourself is a wonderful thing, no need to be secretive about it. I haven't asked yet. But did you just spill the beans? Her master told her the Verdant Sect has always emphasized the path of love, refining the Tao heart, and understanding the great Tao in the moral world. If you and Xiao really fall for each other, I will go to Phoenix Peak myself and arrange a marriage between you. She replied, even if I do have feelings for Mr. Lin, there's no guarantee he feels the same way about me, and said, you see, he's been surrounded by 3 pretty junior sisters since he was a boy. Her master replied, those 3 little girls know nothing of men. Further added, there are some things that, though I have not tried them myself, I love to read about in books like these. Pointing her hand towards her chest, she said, tonight I will teach you something besides cultivation, what men like. Pulling Wang Ning towards, she said, relax and trust me. And told Wang Ning, who knows what I teach you tonight might help you and Xiao in the Sword Tomb's secret realm after the Five Peaks tournament. On the day of Five Peaks tournament, I exclaimed, so many people here, then I heard someone saying, come on you dummies, I'm the princess of the Nunzer kingdom. I'm not a fiend sect demoness. Girl was trying to protect herself and saying, let me go, I'm here on behalf of the royal family of Nunzer to observe your Five Peaks tournament. But I lost the invitation token. While crying, the girl said to them, this is frustrating, you're not going to kill me, are you? Gee, you are so clueless. I thought the girl appears in this timeline. It's her Princess Xiao Qingdai Nunzer Kingdom? The Five Peaks tournament invited righteous sects and kingdoms, including the Nunzer Kingdom. They sent Princess Qingdai as a representative. En route, the Nunzer Kingdom's imperial master, a minor witch master of the Ghost Witch sect, robbed her of her honorary token and gave her a cursed pendant that triggers an alarm at the sect's gates. Yuani orchestrated this to provoke the Verdant Sect into mistakenly killing the princess, thus turning the Nunzer Kingdom against the righteous sects. I thought if the plot continues as expected, Ye Chen will soon arrive on his sword and then, with the guidance of Eldershire, help Xiao Qingdai out of her predicament, initially winning her favor. Further added, it is this that lays the groundwork for him to gain the support of the Nunzer Kingdom, defeat the Fiend sects, and make a name for himself in the Eastern Realm after the Five Peaks tournament. I was very gloomy and thinking to myself, the most absurd part is that the Fiend sect demoness Jiang Yuan released is actually Xiao Qingdia's elder sister, and Ye Chen will have them both fall for him. The Nunzer Kingdom, that's too much. Trying to leave from there, I thought in my mind, I'm one step away from witnessing the final outcome and I don't want any surprises. I'm out of here. She suddenly jumbled on my back and shouted, you sir, you are a man of some consequence in the Verdant Sect, are you not? That must be it. With a cute face she requested me, I see you treated with such respect by all these fierce-looking fellows, sir, believe me. I really am the princess of the Nunzer Kingdom. I was trying to avoid her gaze and she was saying, it's just that I'm playful by nature, and I ditched all those royal attendants. I turned back towards her and she was continuously thinking in her mind, he's so handsome. Then some disciple ran towards me shouting, Chief Lin. This is a Fiend sect demoness with an evil aura. Please stay away from her. And she was thinking, is this the noble ethereal handsome fellow from the Immortals? I waved my hand to stop them and she thought, will he help me? Such a good-natured man. I said, first of all, I don't know you. With a dark face I added, secondly, what is your manner? If you keep bothering me, do not blame me for losing my temper. Then the system prompt stated, congratulations. You have succeeded in restoring the antagonist persona. You triggered some rewards. I told them, take her away, it's official business, while she was crying and hugging me saying, no. Don't, why should you not believe me when you look so good? Then a disciple turned back and said, Chief Yi. He asked Lin Xiao, why is it you again? And he thought, Eldershire, is this girl the great opportunity you mentioned? She's gonna be my benefactor? And she was silently looking towards Ye Chen, then ignore him and said to me, sir. Please believe me. Angrily, he thought you dare to cling to another man in my presence? He said, this benefactor, I don't need her. Eldershire said, my friend, wait. Ye Chen shouted, Lin Xiao. Wherever I fall I rise, and added, today I will step on your head and reach the highest peak. That'd be a sight you'd never see. I thought to myself, hey, are you just going to leave like that? What sort of a man are you? Xiao Qingdai will sacrifice everything for you, even her country and people. When I heard she was calling me sir, I turned back with a poker face. She was saying to me, I can only count on you. Please help me. I swear in the name of the great goddess nuns, I am indeed Princess Xiao Qingdai of the Nunzer Kingdom. I have faith in you. You must be a good man. The nearby people started discussing. What's going on? Isn't that the chief of Phoenix Peak? No, it looks like a pregnant woman looking for the father. A heartbroken woman trying to hold on to a scumbag. And I was mentally shouting to stop that. Then I used my powers. In the coiled long half-pace, a lady named Tan Tai Chingyin sitting on a chair, and Eldershire said, my friend, look, that's one of the 6 saints of the Verdant Sect, Music Saint Tan Tai Chingyin. She's attending, that means this one is significant. He replied, the grand stage is all set for me, Eldershire, I'm going to make history. I was making fun of him and he said, might as well fix this brat too. The system announced, antagonist role restored. I took a sigh and I thought, with such grandeur and high style, it really grinds my gears to see Ye Chen flaunting here. If I put my full strength into it, today might be the day I make a name for myself in the Eastern Realm and even the whole Central Continent. My master was sitting on a chair giving me a wink, and embarrassingly I thought, master, bring it down a notch. I was thinking in my mind, after more than a decade of enduring humiliation and playing the clown, it's finally time for the big finale. Today's the final battle, whatever the outcome. I'll be the center of attention. In the ready area they all shouted my name, Xiao. I said you were about to take the stage, and I have come to check you out, and I thought it's down to the wire. I'm not playing the antagonist, show some kindness to them. As for the farewell letters, I stayed up all night writing yesterday. I'll just save it for after I leave, and further added I've got a few things to tell you three as well. Ying said okay, go ahead, I'm listening. Yue and Yurong both shouted my name, Xiao. Noticing each other, Day thought, although I want to go up and cozy up to Xiao, I've made an agreement with Yue and Yurong, fair competition. Until Xiao makes a choice, we can't get too close to him. As for Ying, at her age, what ill intentions could she possibly have? She only sees Xiao as a big brother. They were both looking towards me, and I noticed that I grabbed them by the ear shoulders and hugged them while saying, ladies, for this 5 Peaks tournament, I know you've prepared for a long time, but I want you to understand that keep all things natural, and that we cultivators should keep a pure Dao heart and be true to ourselves. As for the outcome, it's up to fate, no need to force it, understand? And they shouted, yeah, Xiao, we got it. While noting in their mind, don't worry. We'll give it our all, and we won't let you and Master down. Yue said, Xiao, I'm going to be on stage soon. If I could win the first round for Phoenix Peak, I wonder. Will you give me a special reward? I replied saying, well. Then Yurong told we three must all have a reward if we win the competition today. Ying said, Xiao, don't play favorites. I was sweating and listening, their blabbering. With a weak voice I said, alright, but it's not like it has to be a victory. As long as you give it your all, without regrets, I'll give you a reward. Anything you want. They shouted, Xiao, you're really kind. The announcer announced the 5 Peaks tournament is officially kicking off. First round. The third true disciple of Phoenix Peak, Chu Yue, is facing off against Scarlet Peak's second true disciple, Chinqiu Yue. She jumped into the stadium with a gust of wind. Her name was Chinqiu Yue. Nearby people said Ms. Chen's entrance is impressive. Chu Yue, though new, is progressing fast. She might be the dark horse. Head Qisong is grooming her as a secret weapon. They're aiming for victory. Her opponent is Ms. Chu, born with Qin Sword Soul. Yue descended onto the stage. People started talking. Look. Ms. Chu is stepping onto the platform too. Ms. Chu seems noticeably weaker. How will gentle Ms. Chu match up against Chu Yue's malevolent energy? It's a done deal. She's already lost. I was looking towards her and thinking, but speaking of which, Yue looks really good up there, doesn't she? How did I not notice it before? I thought to myself. Following the original storyline, Yue emerged victorious against Chinqiu Yue after a fierce battle of dozens of moves, making it one of the most lopsided wins of this year's 5 Peaks tournament. Then someone shouted from the crowd, Elder Qi is taking bets now. The odds are high, so place your bets now. He said, I'm betting on Ms. Chen, and other people started betting on her too. I was looking from the back and thinking, according to the original storyline, Ye Chen, having just helped Xiao Qingdai out of trouble, borrowed some spirit stones from her and, under the guidance of Elder Shi, went all in on Chu Yue. Naturally, he made a fortune, earning the admiration of Xiao Qingdai, the princess of the Nunzer kingdom and a descendant of Nunzer, but after and changed the storyline, who knows how it will unfold. Huaishan shouted from the crowd, excuse me, I want to place a bet. I stopped him and asked Huaishan, how many spirit stones did you bring with you? He replied, I've got 500 spirit stones. Then I shouted, 500 spiritual stones, bet on Chu Yue, my fellow disciple from Phoenix Peak, to beat her opponent in 50 to 100 rounds. The nearby people said, Chief Lin sure has nerves of steel. He actually spent 50 much money on betting on the number of rounds with high odds. I bet he's just showing support for his junior sister. He's got deep pockets. Ye Chen said to me, well, Lin Xiao, playing it big, huh? Daring to bet on the number of rounds? Aren't you afraid of losing it all? I showed him the universal gesture and told him, none of your business, get lost. Then the old men said, Chief Lin, nice to meet you. I admire your boldness, but your master's even more daring than you. I asked my master. On a paper there was written, Head Xiao, 50,000 spirit stones on Phoenix Peak's Chu Yue to win within 10 rounds. And I thought master could lose big this time. According to the plot, Yue won after 50 rounds. I was thinking, but that's alright. This sum is nothing to my fair master. The richest woman of the Verdant Sect is more than a mere reputation. He was very nervous behind me, saying, Xiao, did we really go all in? I replied, alright, just wait for your ship to come and the money we win will be enough for you to live comfortably for a lifetime. Don't you trust Yume? Do you trust me? Ye Chen, Elder Shi, let's pass these side bets. Even if you're sure that Chu Yue will win, I don't want to bet. He thought it's for my dignity. I can't let Lin Xiao get too cocky. Then he bet 100,000 spirit stones on Chinchu Yue to win. The announcer shouted, "The tournament officially begins." She said to Yue, "Ms. Chu, I'll do my best." She jumped at Yue, who stood still. Suddenly, Yue opened her eyes, creating a barrier. The attack hit the barrier, causing a huge explosion. She was thrown into a wall, defeated. The audience was shocked and murmured, "Oh my god." After 5 years of sword practice, this dark horse, who had received countless efforts from the head and elders of Scarlet Peak, was defeated in a single move. I didn't expect Ms. Chu's strength to be so terrifying. She's good at hiding her strength. One of the elders was sweating and thinking, in order to re-establish Scarlet Peak's reputation at the tournament, I, along with a group of fellow elders, have made countless efforts to nurture her. It is no exaggeration to say that she's our ultimate secret weapon. And she lost. Looking towards her, he thought, how strong must her second disciple Wu Yurong be, if her third disciple Chu Yue is already so powerful? She was laughing and saying, "I've hit the jackpot." I thought to myself, oh my goodness, Yue actually mastered the final layer of the Heartbane Fiend Qin, the murderous fiend sound, ahead of time. It was only in the middle of the original plot that she burned her own essence to master this technique capable of destroying everything just to help Ye Chen conquer the capital of the Zhou dynasty. In that battle, despite her kindness, she mistakenly killed countless civilians. That scoundrel Ye Chen had even used her power to erect a tower of human heads 100 feet high in front of the palace of the Zhou dynasty in an attempt to intimidate Empress Wu Yu into surrendering. How could she have mastered the murderous fiend sound so early on? On the eve of the Five Peaks tournament, Yue said, "Thank you, Master Qingyin, for enlightening me today and helping me fulfill my lifelong wish." Qingyin replied by saying, "Yue, why put yourself through this? Further added, you're the once-in-a-lifetime Qin sword soul. If you cultivate properly, with 10 years of effort, you'll surely reach the highest level of integration of sword and Jin. Why do you rush to the Heartbane Fiend Qin, which would cause you so much harm?" And asked, "Is it really worth it?" Yue replied, "For the light in my heart, everything is worth it. It's what I truly desire." Huaishan said, "Xiao, it seems like Ms. Chu won," and asked, "Didn't we just make a big profit with the bet we placed earlier?" I replied to Huaishan, "Due to my miscalculation, technically speaking, the bet we placed didn't end up as a win," so with teary eyes he asked me, "So, all those spirit stones are gone?" Nervously scratching my face, I replied in theory, "Yes." Consoling him, I said, "Well, no worries, when Yingying comes on stage next, I will help you win it back." I said, "Huaishan, how many spirit stones do you have left? Bring them all out, don't chicken out, go all and be a man, take a risk to make a big profit. Trust me, you're about to get rich." He replied, "The rest of the spirit stones are in the room, should I go get them now?" I said, "Bummer, by the time you're back, Yingying might have lost already." He asked, "Xiao, do you think Yingying will lose?" I replied, "Look at who her opponent is." I said to Elder Qi, "I didn't bring any spirit stones with me temporarily, can I place a bet first and pay later?" Rest assured, as the chief disciple of Phoenix Peak, and in front of so many fellow disciples, I would never default. He explained naturally, "I trust your credit. But running a betting booth has always been a cash transaction. Once I make an exception for you, it will cause more trouble, how about?" And said, "Your master, Head Xiao, just won a lot of money. Xiao, why don't you ask her for some cash for now?" I thought, I still want to make a good impression on master before I leave, how can I ask her for money? Mockingly, Ye Chen said, "Lin Xiao, not able to afford to lose that little bit of money?" I had lost 100,000 spiritual stones, and I had not even blinked. "Fine. If you kneel down and beg me, I will lend you money." I thought, he's really asking for trouble with that attitude, huh? "Who's the antagonist here, me or him?" She said, "Sir, I'm loaded. How much do you need? Since I owe you a favor, I'll lend it to you." I thought, exactly, she's the rich one here, and then shouted, "I will bet 100,000 spirit stones on Lu Yingying of Phoenix Peak to lose." 2 hours later, the announcer shouted, "We have the winner." I was petrified when I heard in the second round, Lu Yingying of Phoenix Peak won. I was shocked. Yingying actually faked a stomach ache during the duel and managed a surprise attack while her opponent, Su Jingqing, hesitated. This is ridiculous. Would such a sneaky move even change the storyline? I thought, looks like my earlier speculation was correct. Yingying, like me, knows about future plot developments. So realizing that she could not beat Su Jingqing no matter what, she resorted to such means to turn the tide. I was shaking my head and thinking, whatever it is, I am a dead man walking. Even if this confirms it, what's the point? She was staring at me and I asked, "Why do you look at me like that?" "If it's about bets, sorry, as you can see I lost again." With a genuine smile she replied, "I know, it's okay. I have plenty of spirit stones besides, you saved me, and that favor was invaluable." She replied, by the way, sir, you're really good looking. I replied, really well, I guess so. And I thought, don't you girls usually like the fresh-faced appearance of the protagonist? How come you're changing tastes and favoring a superficial antagonist like me? She said, sir, Yu Rong, your second junior sister, is up. Wang Ning's master was thinking, alas, Yu Rong is already one of the top cultivators of the younger generation at the Verdant Sect. However, it is indeed unfortunate for her to be born in the same era as Wang Ning, a genius. She asked, sir, if you still want to bet, I can help you. I replied, no thank you, and I thought after the change with the two junior sisters I really had no confidence left. Who knows, Yu Rong might just surprise everyone and defeat Zhu Wang Ning. I said in Lin Xiao, if you really want to repay me when I get on stage later. And I thought, but even if these heroines' plots are ruined, I can trust myself as the antagonist. I grabbed her hand and requested help me bet 200,000 spirit stones, all in for my loss. Don't worry. I'm confident that I'm not Ye Chen match. Blushing and nervous, she was thinking, oh my god, he took my hand. He's the first boy to hold my hand. I told her, as for the spirit stones you earn, give half to Ye Chen, and you keep the rest. She said, of course I will. The match begins. They were both looking towards each other and releasing their powers, and two barriers were created. The audience was shocked, saying, oh my god, what are they doing? Why is there a sword curtain? To really get into the sword fighting spirit, they synced up their sword intent, intuitively creating an invisible sword realm as a broader battleground for their combat. And they were fighting with each other in the barrier like something. She was blissfully lying down on my lap, and I was shocked, thinking it's been 300 moves according to the original plot. It's around this time that Yu Rong lost by just one move. From their fight, an explosion was made and they were thrown away both, and the audience was shot looking towards them, Devo both injured, but Yu Rong stood up despite her injurious, and the announcer declared the winner Yu Rong. She asked Wang Ning, why that move, you could have stabbed me sooner. She replied, nothing, I'm just not as skilled as you deserve the win. And she congratulated your victory. Closing her eyes sadly, she thought, if I could only switch places with Yu Rong and have Xiao take care of me, then I wouldn't need this Azura combat constitution. The announcer told, next up, we've got Ye Chen, the chief disciple of Sky Peak versus Lin Xiao, the chief disciple of Phoenix Peak. The people was saying, here it is, the most anticipated showdown of the entire event. One was the chosen one, who had escaped the clutches of the empress of the Zhou dynasty, and had become the chief disciple after just 1 month of joining the sect. And the people was saying, while the girls were listening, the other, who had been rumored to be the shame of the sect's chief disciples for his incompetence, proved to be a genius, and twice managed to defeat the heir of Lord North. These two men, seeming enemies, at last had a chance to settle their scores in the fairest manner possible. And thinking, Xiao, whatever happens, I always trust you. You're the man I love. You're the chosen one. He stepped onto the stage saying, where are you, Lin Xiao? You better kneel down and surrender right now. The people shouted, Chief Lin is on the stage. I was standing on the stadium and shouting at Ye Chen, saying, Ye Chen, your strength I 5-0, but bullshit, don't get cocky. Today, I will teach you a lesson. You've been bragging about being the chosen one, right? Today I will kick off your precious armor, strip you of all your luck, and leave you lying in the dirt like a dead dog. Then the system prompt appeared stating, congratulations. You have successfully portrayed the antagonist. You receive some bonus. Angrily I was looking towards the system and thinking I was just following the script. System, are you trying to mess things up again? This is the final act. From the audience the girls were shouting for me, saying Xiao is invincible. Go for it, Xiao, as you said, let's crush Ye Chen. My master said to the old man, I'm betting 1,000,000 spirit stones on Xiao to win. Wang Ning thought, do what you can, Mr. Lin. If you fail to defeat Ye Chen, I will make sure to bury him in the secret realm during the sword tomb trial. Ye Chen told me, Lin Xiao, I've been waiting for this day for so long. Ever since you have entangled yourself with me, you have set yourself on the path of destruction. You have no idea what kind of opposition you are up against. I thought, is he already at the peak of mystique phase? The old man really had some skill. The stronger you get, the more reassured I am. I said, Ye Chen, listen up. I have but one thing to say to you. I showed him the universal gesture and said, you are nothing. He was charging his attack using gold direction slash. The audience was shocked, saying, Chief, he is undefeatable. This sword, I dare say, is the most brilliant in the tournament. Chief Lin might lose. I thought, I'll suppress my sword intent to 20% to take the blow. Then both our energies collided with each other, and I thought, I never expected this. The final act of my villain career is going so smoothly. The timing of Ye Chen's charge and the sword move he used are exactly the same as the original plot. And I added according to the storyline, I'll be driven to a dead end, go berserk, and unleash the forbidden spirit tool I stole, the deadly Black Lotus. Ye Chen will be temporarily thwarted, and then he'll unleash his terrifying ultimate move, the 5 Elements Destruction Sword, and then just as I'm about to be engulfed by the 5 Elements Destruction Sword, Master will rescue me and take me out of the stage, thus conceding defeat by default. After my theft is exposed, I'll be suppressed by Master and confined to the cliff of reflecting soon. My life as the antagonist will come to a satisfying end. Come on, Ye Chen, help me become the immortal beyond the mundane. If things continue to go smoothly from here on, I will leave this world. I'll leave behind my beloved junior sisters and Master. The images of their stunning faces and those incomparable legs in black stockings flash. We were both in an energy barrier. Ye Chen said, Eldersher. Look at this. This is the guy you've always been afraid of, the one you claim is on par with me in fate rank. This all he's got? And shouted, he's nothing but his loser. He made a sword slash and shouted, die. A huge crack appeared on the ground. The crowd shouted, oh my god. Did that move obliterate Chief Lin's divine soul? All the people were looking towards my master, but my master was calmly drinking her tea. He was shocked, thinking, is he dead? He was laughing and saying, Lin Xiao the loser has been reduced to ashes by my sword aura. And said, Eldersher, are you still daring to boost other people's prestige and crush my authority? From the Zhou dynasty to the Eastern Realm, anyone who crosses me meets a tragic end and willingly surrenders their luck. He wasn't an exception. He exclaimed, it's back. The feeling is back. I am the chosen one, and all bow down. He shouted, all sword immortals must bow before me. Then he heard me saying, Ye Chen, you're useless. Not even taking advantage of the opportunity you've been given, huh? I was very angry and told him, could you not have aimed a bit more accurately? It's about sword intent. Follow the flow of my sword intent as you strike. Do not fixate on hitting the fleas, got it? Sorry ass. I thought as Ye Chen's sword aura touched the sword barrier condensed by my peerless sword constitution, that annoying passive body technique drunken moonstep was triggered again, just in time. I slipped uncontrollably through the crevices in the layers of the sword aura, dodging the attack perfectly. Thank goodness Wine Deity spell did not go off at the same time, or Ye Chen would have been hit by the sword intent backlash. The combo of Wine Deity spell and drunken moonstep has even once made Master, who had her swordsmanship and cultivation levels suppressed, struggle to keep up. He was shocked and said, how did you escape unscathed? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. You must have used some insidious sorcery. Ye Chen asked Eldersher. Tell me what's going on. What should I do next? He replied, my friend, just now, he used an extremely profound body technique inherited from the upper world to evade your gold sword aura, but in told what he said just now was right. If your stroke hadn't been focused on his physical body, but followed the sword intent, you could have hit him. Alas, his proficiency in swordsmanship is too terrifying, you're probably no match for him. He shouted, enough, Eldersher. You're at it again. I don't want to hear this from you. Tell me. How do I beat him? I promised you that I'll listen to you for everything once we win the 5 Peaks tournament. He replied, actually, it's not hard for you to beat him. And told him, because he never once showed any intent to kill you, even when he activated his sword aura to block, his sword intent was peaceful, in other words. He never intended to beat you all. And further added, although I don't know the reason, but Chen. Just give it your all, and you'll definitely take him down. He said, Lin Xiao, you're pathetic. And shouted, the heavens gave you such strong talent in swordsmanship, yet you still can only humbly seek defeat. Remember, I am Heaven Dao's favorite, the only chosen one in this world. I was annoying and I thought Ye Chen finally got your mindset right. That old man must have comforted him quite a bit. With a dark smile he shouted, I'm sending you to your death. Holding sword, I thought, hope he can hurt me this time. He shouted, Lin Xiao, since the gold direction slash couldn't kill you, let's play with something even more intense. He used blazing blades, infinite and terrible bursts of flame swept across a space of 30 yards. Nearby people were shocked, saying, oh my god. It's the fire law, the deadliest of the 5 elements law. I never thought a sword cultivator here could use it so perfectly. Mr. Lin escaped before, but now he's surrounded by the fire sword aura. Chief Yi truly is a monstrous figure. Can Mr. Lin turn the tables? All the girls worried about me and my buddy shouted, Xiao won't lose. I was shocked and thought Ye Chen was actually influenced by my drunken moonstep and used blazing blades. He didn't use this in the original story. I wonder if that will change the plot. Ying was crying and saying, please, master. Yue shouted, Xiao doesn't want to surrender. Only you as the master can put a stop to this. Yu Rong said, master. Save Xiao, please. The fat man said it's not unjust for Xiao to lose, alas. My master replied, swordsmanship prodigy? Nonsense. She told him compared to Xiao I might not even be worthy of being called a swordsmanship prodigy. He was angry and she added, as for Ye Chen he's not even worth mentioning. She shouted towards my other junior sisters, you don't understand Xiao at all, but I do. She thought back when we were dueling in the sword realm. I noticed that as soon as Xiao sensed danger, he would unleash that terrifying magic power. I thought no time to think, gotta tough it out and finish the act. I shouted, swinging my sword, go to hell. He shouted back, turn to ashes. I thought, I cannot let the blow fall in its full force. If it does, I am doomed. I need to be severely wounded to unleash the deadly Black Lotus and bring Master to the stage. I used drunken moonstep, dodging his all attacks. He was very angry and shouting at me. I thought this side slash should be enough to push me to the brink and added leak half of my spirit energy to give him an opening. He was behind me trying to swing his sword and shouted, there's a loophole. I thought I got this. But suddenly I got out of the control and Buddha's statue got created and he was shocked. Nearby people were shocked, saying, what is that? Probably Chief Lin's mystique incarnation. He was lifting a big jar and I sang to him in my mind, get out of there. Then he threw the jar down at Ye Chen. He was injured and angry. He said, what kind of magic power is this? I replied, who the hell are you? And I thought, how the hell am I supposed to act now? System, if you don't want me to become immortal, just say it. I noticed that he got very angry and I thought, this terrifying sword intent, good lord, is he finally ready to use that move in advance? Angrily he shouted, Lin Xiao, I have to admit you've got some skills. You're one tough ant to crush. Clutching his sword tight in his hand he said, well, since you're this strong, I'll reluctantly use this move to completely wipe you out. Eldersher told him, my friend, don't do it. Once you fall to destroy him you will pay a great price. Using secret technique of burning blood to break through your cultivation level has caused severe essence depletion. It's not wise to use this move now. You are gambling. Qingyin said, now it seems that this Sky Peak disciple, Chen, is surely the best candidate to carry on Taiwu's legacy, right? The fat man replied, well, although in Hongling's eyes, Chen's swordsmanship aptitude is nothing worth mentioning, in case you haven't noticed, he's probably going to give it his all. Aren't you going to stop this, Hongling? Wang Ning's master told Hongling. That move from Ye Chen is extraordinary. Aren't you going to stop it? My junior sisters were crying and saying, master, save Xiao please. With a stern face she replied, I'll say it again. Watch closely, everyone, I believe in Xiao. She told Elder Qi, I'll add another 200,000 spirit stones. The fat man was thinking, she's out of her mind. Fine. The more her mind deteriorates, the better it will be for the plans of we 8 fiend sects. Ye Chen shouted, Ant. Accept your fate to be devoured. He used 5 elements destruction sword intent and a blue energy surrounded me and all the audience were shocked, looking intently. Then I used the lotus and I was able to overcome the blue films. He shouted he neutralized the 5 elements destruction sword inherited from the upper world's divine sword fiend. What kind of spirit tool is this? I shouted back, I have no idea. The deadly Black Lotus isn't supposed to be like this. The fat man shouted, cheater. Lin Xiao is cheating. Elders, look! The spirit tool Lin Xiao used resembles the taboo item sealed by the sect founder on Phoenix Peak, the deadly Black Lotus. He added, how audacious of Lin Xiao to steal it. Please discern it, elders, and punish him severely. The sect leader asked, is that the deadly Black Lotus? My master said to Yuani, you've lived for so long, yet your insights remain shallow, and added, if you can't figure it out, you can always consult the saints. Qingyin said, that is no longer the deadly Black Lotus, it has been refined by a higher power, purging its demonic aura, reborn as the refined Tao Lotus, or according to records from the upper world, known as the immortal Golden Lotus. The fat man shouted, impossible. This cannot be. This can only be refined by the sect founder. How can anyone else do this? Eldersher said, my friend, are you trying to get yourself killed? If you keep this up your life essence will be depleted. He replied and shouted, Eldersher, don't try to stop me. Today, I'm going to kill him. And told, didn't you always say his fate rank is the same as mine? I'll kill him now. There can only be one chosen one in this world. He attacked while shouting, that would be me, the heir of Lord North, Ye Chen. I was using the lotus and thinking, hold back, I have to hold back and not retaliate. I have to stick to the plot, be cornered by Ye Chen and then have master intervene. Then I suddenly not said my buddy was going on to the stage and he shouted, Huaixin, what are you doing? I told him, no. Don't. Get the hell out of here. Listen to me, this is no place for you. He attacked Ye Chen by plunging his sword into back and said, Xiao, I'll help you kill him. He was crying and saying, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. Ye Chen was angrily looking towards him and he added, after I kill him, I'll apologize to you. I will make amends, even if it costs me my life. Then he shouted, I will not allow Xiao, whom I most admire, to be bullied. Ye Chen said, I recognize you. He said, you're the punk who came to poison me on the day of the disciple ceremony for Lin Xiao. I was trying to stop him and shouted his name, Ye Chen. Ye Chen plunged his sword into his body and said, you're overestimating yourself. Then he has lashed his body and I was shouting his name in concern, Ye Chen. And everyone was shocked when they saw the scene. I shouted, Ye Chen, today, I'm taking your life. Anger visible in my eyes, I attack him, destroying the ground into bits. Ye Chen's one arm was separated from his body by my attack and fell down, horrifying the audience. He was screaming in pain and was saying, Eldersher. It hurts so bad. I thought in the end I could not change his fate and he died for me. Blood was coming out of his mouth and he was calling my name and he was saying, it hurts. My legs are killing me. I thought both of his legs have been consumed by the destruction aura. I told him, you little fool, why were you so stubborn, why didn't you listen to me? He replied, Xiao, you defeated Ye Chen as expected, Xiao is the strongest. I was crying and he explained, I didn't lie to you. I followed your word, bought land in Crim Wind City, and even set up a pig farm. I plan to retire from the mountains and live as an ordinary person after the Five Peaks tournament. Crim Wind City isn't far from here. I could visit you and the senior sisters regularly, and cook for you. And he added, I know you can't stand the food the mountain chefs make. Further said, but I can't tolerate anyone bullying you, so I was being stubborn for one last time. I hope you can forgive me. He said, Xiao, I'm dying, but can you promise me one thing? I shouted, of course. Then he told me, today, I cleaned up your room, I saw the letters you left for the senior sisters and master. Raising his hand, he further requested me, Xiao, please stay here, will you? The senior sisters and master are fond of you. I was crying and he was saying to me, please promise me, okay? I said, alright, I promise you. I won't leave, I'll stay here, guarding all of you. Then he slowly closed his eyes. I said, don't worry. I swear to avenge you. Ye Chen shouted, what are you going to do? Veins popping out of his throat, he shouted, Lin Xiao, you can't kill me. You've never had any intention of killing me, have you forgotten? While I was looking down with my gloomy face, he added, you must have some reason, you can't kill me, think about it. Don't act recklessly. I said, Ye Chen, lift your head and look at me. Am I the same man as before? Anger all around my face, I further said, from now on we switch roles. The system prompt gave me a warning saying, please change your intent and your level has been dropped by 5%, if you will not the system will crash. Ye Chen shouted, I surrender. And he requested, please Grand Elder's Master, save me. Then I punched my showdown into his chest. The system informed me the host's awareness level is reset to 0. Antagonist System informed me you are permanently detected from the bonds of the system, and he further stated, congratulations, host, your identity has been revised from cannon fodder Lin Xiao to heaven's chosen antagonist. Your fate rank has been automatically raised. Current world module slightly modified. Confusing, I said, upgraded, and it's you again, system. The antagonistic system replied, you guessed it, host. It's me again. Congratulations, host. You've successfully awakened your true self and unlocked the true form of this system. I was carrying him in my arms and said, but at this point, I don't care anymore. Further added, Ye Chen, I'm taking you home. The fat man landed behind me saying, no. We cannot let Lin Xiao go. Everyone heard. My disciple, Ye Chen, conceded, yet Lin Xiao killed him. Lin Xiao disregarded our Verdant Sect's teachings and showed no respect to Shinran Ziyun and the Grand Elders. In front of so many peers, our reputation will be ruined if we don't punish Lin Xiao severely. The elders agreed, saying, well said. Lin Xiao of Phoenix Peak acted recklessly and violated the Verdant Sect's rules. Shinran Ziyun, please uphold justice. He must be severely punished, life for life. The sect leader was looking towards my master and was saying, Shinran Ziyun and the chief elder of the Hall of Enforcement are not taking sides. Who would dare to oppose this fiercely protective woman? Then one elder said, we can only rely on the Grand Elders. The fat man shouted, everyone, listen to me. In the secular world, even the emperor is not above the law. It does not matter whose chief disciple he is, each must be severely punished. The fat man added, well said, Grand Elder. As the leader of the righteous sects in the Eastern Realm, the Verdant Sect should set an example for all righteous peers today. I was leading from there and it was saying, kill Lin Xiao, time to clean house. The fat man thought, as Ye Chen had already summoned the Queen of the North by letter, the heir of Lord North is now useless. The more tragic his death, the more it would provoke Her Majesty the Queen to vent her wrath upon the Verdant Sect and aid the future attacks of the Fiend sections. Lin Xiao is incredibly skilled, his swordsmanship aptitude is no less than his master's, he must be killed in the cradle. It's a plan to kill two birds with one stone. He shouted, going to attack me, you wretch. Today I will act on behalf of the Hall of Enforcement. Before he can attack me, my master is intercepted and attacked, destroying the whole arena. Nervously he said, Hongling, don't be impulsive, that's not what I meant. My master replied, elders, my disciple Lin Xiao acted impulsively today and broke the rules of the tournament. I will take him back to discipline him. Give me credit for that, let us not dwell too deeply on the matter, for otherwise she told you shall see the fiercest version of me in the world. The elders shouted, music saint. Head Xiao disregarded the rules. Ensure fairness. She repeatedly violated rules and demanded credit. Xiao Hongling is too arrogant. The 6 saints must act. Qingyin said sorry. Everyone, she added. Zhenrentai, with the leader of the 6 saints, has told us repeatedly recently that a great calamity is about to befall the Verdant Sect. We must go out of our way to appease Head Xiao and under no circumstances let her leave the mountain. She said so, we have to give her that. And they were trying to object. And my master walked out from there. I called my master, she said no more need be said. I will take care of everything. She told me take Shen back with you. I replied yes, master. She said he told me to wait. She told me the dead are gone, and life goes on, do not get too upset, or it may affect your health. I would be concerned. I replied I understand. Please don't worry. My junior sister hurriedly came towards me and called name Xiao. She said Xiao. He well Nun's kingdom holds Nun's secret technique. And added maybe that will save him. Someone called his name Mr. Jiang. He replied Jingqing and asked how is the tournament going today. He replied sorry about that, Mr. Jiang. I lost to a junior sister from Phoenix Peak. He asked are you serious, you, in the Mystique phase, beaten by Ying, who's just in the early stage of the Golden Core. He thought in the original story, Su Jingqing was supposed to defeat Lu Ying. He said yes, how could I lie to you? And added it was my fault for being careless. Ying is really tricky, alas. He thought so did Lu Ying use some kind of trick. He said did you hear of that? There was a big thing going on today at the 5 Peaks tournament. Jiang asked tell me more. Did Ye Chen win? He replied no, Ye Chen is indeed a rare genius, but and he added the chief disciple from Phoenix Peak is even more terrifying. He was confused remembering the positive things and was saying my name Lin Xiao. Jiang asked so, did Lin Xiao win in the end? He replied not only did he win. Lin Xiao also cut off one of Ye Chen's arms. And with a single thrust of the sword pierced his vital spot. He was shocked when he heard right now, no one knows if Ye Chen will make it or not. Jiang took a sigh and said alright, I got it Jingqing, you may go now. He replied oh, right. Mr. Jiang, there's one more thing. He said master asked if you will still participate in the sword tomb trial. After the 5 Peaks tournament. He replied of course. He was thinking according to the original plot, the sword tomb holds many rare treasures. But I'm only after the Verdant mystical sword. Only by obtaining this sword can we reactivate the 6 paths reincarnation sect formation passed down by the sect founder. To fend the Fiend sect invasion. She was holding his cup and saying Lin Xiao, although I don't know why, as a minor character in the original story, you broke through your limits, I hope. In the upcoming crucial events for the Verdant Sect, we can be friends, not enemies. My kindness to you far exceeds that of the jerk protagonist, Ye Chen. Xiao, this toast is for your victory over Ye Chen today and for dominating the scene. Congratulations. In Divine Ice Chamber, deep in the Lotus legendary abode. He was laying down on ice bed. Ying said your highness of Nun's kingdom, is there really a way to save Huaixin, given how badly he's injured? Don't make empty promises. You wrong, added your highness, we risked being reprimanded by bringing Huaixin into master's legendary abode. Further said if you cannot resuscitate him, you must give us an explanation. Yue Wei told your highness, Xiao trusts you so much, please don't let him down. She was very frightened and was thinking I'd rather Xiao be taken by another junior or senior sister than let an outsider take a share. She said Xiao, help me to explain to these ladies that the vital energy of Huaixin is not entirely severed, and that there is a strong determination in his divine soul, so that there is a good chance that we may be able to save him. It's just he needs a new body. I took her hand in my hands and said I believe in you, Ms. Xiao, go ahead and do it. I thought in the original setting, like Xu Wangning's Azura Combat Constitution, Lu Ying's Beast Taming Spirit Constitutions, and Chu Yueqin's Sword Soul. This princess of Nun's kingdom, as one of the important female leads in the Carly stage, is also endowed with a unique constitution, Savior Lotus Heart. During the plot in which the 8 Fiend sects besieged the Verdant Sect, Ye Chen's purple flame ferret was drained off its flesh by the dark blood demon, leaving only a skeleton. After the battle, Ye Chen was in great pain, and it was Xiao Qingdai who took the remains of the purple flame ferret back to Nunzer Kingdom. Using the trunk of the ancient tree of life in the south of Nuder as nourishment, she helped the purple flame ferret regenerate its body. Shi Xiao. You're a gentleman. My all-junior sister shouted, let go of Xiao. I spread my arms and I give them a hug and told them, please, ladies, I beg of you, let's step back for a moment so we do not delay Ms. Xiao's treatment of Ye Chen, okay? Yu Rong said, alright, let's do as Xiao said. Yu Wei told me, sorry, Xiao. I was a bit unreasonable. Ningning also said, Xiao, I always believe in Ms. Xiao. My master arrived and my all-junior sisters were shocking her there. She said, Xiao, I just visited Azure Mountain to meet Jinren Taiwu, the head of the Six Saints. No one will pursue the matter of your severely wounding Ye Chen. I replied, thank you, master, for taking the blame for me. I asked, but speaking of Ye Chen, is he dead? She replied, he's neither dead nor alive. He's a shell of himself now, and unlikely to make any progress in the future. That sword move of yours was spot on and ruthless. Nervously I asked, by the way, master, the princess of Nunzer Kingdom said she could save Ye Chen, so, at my arrangement, we borrowed the divine ice chamber deep within your legendary abode. She replied, no worries, feel free to proceed. She told them all four of you are welcome to enter and exit my lotus legendary abode whenever you need to. They were overjoyed and exclaimed, master, you're so generous, the most generous among all the heads of the Verdant Sect. She said, what's there to get excited about? I also got some great news. She told me that Xiao, your battle with Ye Chen today was observed by Jinren Taiwu using the all-seeing water mirror. He has a great admiration for you. Further added upon my recommendation, Jinren Taiwu personally decreed that this tournament ends here. As the champion of his tournament, you will go to Azure Mountain tomorrow to receive his guidance. I thought in the original story, Ye Chen the victor was summoned the next day to meet Jinren Taiwu at Azure Mountain, and then not only did Jinren Taiwu bestow upon him the sword intent, but he also opened the celestial eye, revealing the specific location of Verdant mystical sword, the sect's treasured sword, to him, and it was exactly within the secret realm of the sword tomb. With a relieved expression I thought to myself, but since I've decided to stay and cultivate with my junior sisters and master, I certainly won't refuse Jinren Taiwu's sword intent inheritance. Further added, from now on, I must do everything possible to seize any opportunity that can make me stronger. I shouted, I understand. I will definitely go to Azure Mountain as agreed tomorrow to listen to Jinren's teachings. She patted my head and said, that's more like it. With smiling face she told everyone, well, now that you are the champion of this tournament, before you go to Azure Mountain tomorrow, I'm going to try something different, taking a cue from other heads. Tonight, we'll have a celebration on Fairy Cliff. Let's all celebrate together tonight, and no one goes home sober. Further said, as for guests, not too many, just so of our junior sisters from the inner sect, and Xiao. That's enough, what do you think of that? When they heard that, they were all happy, saying, that's fantastic, master. After 5 long years, Xiao won the tournament and put our peak back on top where it belongs. It's time for a big celebration. They were all thinking, tonight I shall be able to drink in intimacy with Xiao. I was nervous, and I thought I just have a hunch that something is going to happen tonight. She said, all right, you guys can go now. I have something to discuss with Xiao alone, and they replied, yes, master. We was standing alone in the night sky. I said, master. She replied by saying, Xiao, and asked, tell me the truth, were you trying to let Ye Chen win before Ye Chen appeared in today's fight? I was shocked when I heard that, and I was silent with teary eyes. She asked, Xiao, do you know how much effort I've put into you over these years? I am sure, if you knew, you would not bear to disappoint me. I thought, come on, Lin Xiao. Whether master knew of the future plot or not, she had done so much just to help me rewrite my fate. And instead of actively changing, I've been slacking off all day, repeatedly letting her down. I was kneeling before my master and apologizing to her, saying, allow me to borrow your words today. From now on you shall see the most domineering version of me in the world. I, Lin Xiao, promise today. With my presence, Phoenix Peak will be safe for eternity, and all its members will ascend to immortality. Nervous she said, Xiao, don't be like this. And told me I didn't mean to blame you at all. Xiao, get up quickly. I replied, no. Let me be like this. I'm ashamed. She thought, could it be that my previous statement was too harsh? How shall I comfort him? Fine, for once. Only once, since he likes it. She came close to me and grabbed my hand and put it on her thigh. I thought, my goodness. What is she doing? My dear master, stop there. My peerless sword constitution can't take it anymore. My true vitality is about to burst out. In the sky peak, Ye Chen was saying, my whole body feels like it's been torn apart. Elder sure no, master, is this the end of my life? He was holding his tears while saying, master. I refuse to accept this. I was so close, just a little bit more and I would have crushed that scum Lin Xiao. Elder sure, said Ye Chen, if only you had known what would happen today, then you wouldn't have acted so recklessly in the first place. You repeatedly disregarded my advice, and now you've ended up in such a sorry state. What else can I say except your fate in intellect as well as in strength? You are no match for Chief Lin. Ye Chen replied, how ironic, you used to call me my friend, but now you call me Ye Chen, and that scum Chief Lin. It seems like the new indeed surpasses the old. Elder sure, replied Ye Chen, there's no need for more words, but for your good fortune, that fierce blowprum Lin Xiao would have killed you by now. Just get on with it, and for the rest, stop pushing it. He shouted. Elder sure. What do you mean by that? Are you giving up on me? He was silent, and Ye Chen was asking him, tell me. He replied, Ye Chen, have you forgotten our previous agreement? The Five Peaks tournament was my lost gamble with you. Now that we have lost big time, it is time for us to part ways. And he added, as we part ways, let me give you one last piece of advice. Inside the Sword Tomb's secret realm lies another great opportunity for you. This person is probably the most important person in your life journey, no less important than me. Please cherish it. He was silent for a minute, then he said, no, Elder sure, don't go, I'm not letting you go. Elder sure. Please calm down. I still have one last card to play. With a creepy smile he said, my sister. Ye Chen, she's leading an army of 800,000 North Iron Cavalry to join forces with me. The Queen's scepter she holds is forged from the jade seals of the 33 Northern Realms. She cares about me more than anything in her life. He was laughing and saying, just imagine how angry she would be if she knew that Lin Xiao had crippled me. And the Verdant Sect, which is a cultivation sect, is seldom involved in the disputes of the secular kingdoms, would certainly wish to avoid trouble by offering the head of Lin Xiao on a platter. In that case, I should be the only chosen one left in the world. Elder sure. Trust me once more. Let's join forces, become powerful, and create glory again. He was looking towards his ring and then threw it away, saying, Elder sure, you've let me down too much. Then a voice came from outside saying, have you awakened? I've come to check on you. He replied, sorry to make you worry, I feel much better now. I won't die. The fat man said, alas, it's all my fault. If I had intervened earlier, you wouldn't have lost to Lin Xiao, and had your arm. He asked, what is done, master, what do you want to say? He said, Chen, has your sister, Ye Chen, the Queen of the North, set out yet? Ye Chen told him, thanks for your concern, master. Xian army has arrived at the Eastern Realm and will need at least 15 days to get here. He asked, you've asked about her whereabouts several times. Do you have a plan? The fat man took his hand and said, you probably haven't been to the deepest part of my Yuan legendary abode before, have you? Today, I'll take you there. The fat man teleported him into a place covering his face from the dirty smell. He asked, where is this? It stinks. Then Ye Chen noticed several dead bodies lying down. He asked, how can there be so many dead people here? And it seems like they were all righteous cultivators. The fat man told Ye Chen, these are not dead men, they are the ingredients, the perfect nourishment for me and that lord. He asked, you've killed so many to nourish the way of slaughtering, master, that's some fiend cultivation method. He thought this chubby old man is indeed a fiend spy hidden in the Verdant Sect. He said, now that you know everything, I'll give you another choice today. Further added, are you willing to join us and participate in a great event that will shake the heavens and leave a mark on history? He said, if you agree, I'll take you to meet a big shot in a few days. He told, my friend, with your strong destiny, he will surely favor you. As long as he is willing to lend you a hand, you, Ye Chen, can transform and defy fate, and even crush that bastard Lin Xiao underfoot. He asked, so Ye Chen, do you want to join? Kneeling down he said, master, I'm willing to go through hell and high water for you, no questions asked. Elder sure was trying to convince him by saying, Ye Chen, he is a heinous fiend cultivator, how can you conspire with them? One wrong step and you will cause a disaster. If you, the chosen one, fall into the path of the fiends, the lower world is sure to be plunged into calamity and bloodshed. Stop it. He replied, Elder sure, I can't turn back now, I'm determined to kill Lin Xiao. Elders was saying to himself, I've caused trouble, I screwed up, I should have never done this from the start. In the senior disciples' dorm. I thought I used to play the villain, disheveled and all. Now that I am myself again, naturally I have to be the perfect Xiao, charming and immaculate, capturing the hearts of countless junior sisters. After all, at tonight's celebration banquet, besides Master, there are over 40 stunning junior sisters from the inner sect, and I'm the only male according to Phoenix Peak's chief steward Fet Shui. It's a mixed-sex pool party set on Moon Cliff, a night of welled revelry, it's like heaven for men. The me that used to long to go home is just plain stupid. Holding my both hands I thought, Mom, Dad, Sister, as you can see with the whole world against me, I really gave it my all now, it's certain I can't go back. All I can do is work hard to ascend to immortality, and then try to transcend time and space to reunite with you all. I was looking towards the mirror and thinking, but really, why am I so handsome? With looks like that, I would be a showbiz shoo-in in my world. Without even training. I added need an accessory for my outfit. I said Huaizhen, bring me my. Then suddenly I stopped saying and I noticed some and I thought, alas, I hope Huaizhen is okay. If Xiao Qingdai could successfully reshape his body, I wouldn't mind helping her ascend to the throne of the sovereign of nuns or kingdom while fighting against the 8 fiend sects. Then some bunch of system rewards appeared before me which I am not gonna read because it is too long and boring. I thought if the old me, who used to play the villain, heard that voice, I would definitely go on a swearing spree again. After all, back then I saw the world as a virtual game, and the me in the game, no matter how powerful, was fake, not real. But right now, I just want to say. Smiling, I added, the sensation of this body getting stronger and harder is just so satisfying. Then I said, this cheat cultivation method is quite remarkable, a must-have for lazy people to rank up. If I consume a few more experience packs when dealing with the 8 fiend sects, perhaps the day when I am unstoppable and dominate the entire scene with one sword isn't far off. In the senior female disciples' dorm, my junior sisters were wearing some swimming suits. Yue said, "You wrong, you do have a stunning physique." She replied on, "Really? It's rare to hear you praise me like this. Unfortunately, it just doesn't hit the spot when it's only your praise. If Xiao feels the same way, that would be great." She said, "That's a bit presumptuous. Xiao is such a gentleman, he might not like your plum figure." They we both thinking Ying is better. She never wanted Zhao's attention, she's such a doll. Walt a minute. Innocent Ying actually has a swimsuit with the least fabric. She said, "You wrong and Yue, could you please let me pass? There's a pair of beautiful white stockings in the wardrobe behind you. I got it from Xiao." They were confused looking towards her when she put the stockings on. The both shouted her name. Ying in the melodic peak. Wang Ning said, "Master, Phoenix Peak is quite lively, is there a big event tonight?" His master replied, "Your crush, Lin Xiao, was appointed as the winner of the tournament by Shinran Taiwu. Hong Ling must be ecstatic right now. Otherwise, based on what I know about her, she wouldn't bother with a celebration party." Wang Ning said, "Mr. Lin deserves it. He is really strong." His master told her his talent is truly beyond imagination. Even if Shinran Taiwu didn't personally appoint him, after you and Ye Chen lost, I'm afraid no one would be his match. She further added, "Wang Ning, tell me the truth. Did you deliberately go easy on Gu Yurong in your match?" She was confused looking down. Then her master said, "Wang Ning, you've always been competitive from a young age, unwilling to be weaker than anyone else. Why would you bow to an old rival who has been at odds with you for a decade?" She asked, "What's on your mind?" Her head down, he told her master, "Will you please stop asking, master? Let it pass. I have diligently cultivated according to your wishes, and have never dared to slacken. Today's tournament was the only time in my life that I followed the whim of my heart. Forgive me, master." She thought, "Followed your heart? In the eternal spring I thought, is this heaven?" They were calling my name, saying, "Xiao. Here you are." They exclaimed, "Xiao looks so handsome tonight." And said, "Yeah, indeed. After the 5 Peaks tournament, Xiao is looking even hotter." They were all before me and I was thinking, easy, I'm not like the horny Ye Chen who gets a nosebleed at this. I was trying to stop my hand while thinking I am the main villain. No, scratch that, I've completely distanced myself from that perv Lin Xiao from the original. Now I am the real me. A decent young man from Earth. Bring my hand towards them, they told me, "Xiao, let's have fun." And I thought, actually, thinking about it now, that old antagonist system was not entirely useless. Lying down in the pool between the girls, I thought to myself, there seems to be a strong aroma of wine. Where does it come from? The spiritual pool is actually filled with an intoxicating wine-like scent. This seems like... Then a particular girl said to me, "Chief Lin, Head Zhao's in a good mood. She made a point of having us fetch some aged celestial brew from the cellar of her legendary abode and pour it into the pool, saying it would add some spice to today's feast." And I thought, master, you are really something, you really know how to throw a party. Then someone called my name, Xiao. And it was Yue. She said, "Junior sisters, could you make some room, please? I have something important to discuss with Xiao before the official start of the celebratory banquet." The other girls replied to her, "Well, since Ms. Chu said so, let's go. But we are also Zhao's junior sisters. Why should we leave?" They further added, "Don't be foolish, let's go. I heard about a junior sister named Nan who got sent to the dangerous Blackwater River just for writing a love letter to Xiao, all because of Ms. Chu. Alas, Xiao ultimately belongs to Ms. Chu, Ms. Good, and Ms. Lu. It is a blessing to just catch a glimpse of him from afar." She walked into the pool and said, "Xiao, do you like my outfit today?" Then someone called my name, "Xiao, I'm here." And Yue was very grooming. It was Ying, and I thought, oh my goodness. She's dressed way too sexy. Even more so than Yue's. And I was trying to hold myself thinking they're all like younger sisters to me. I cannot think lustfully of them. Then someone shouted, "Hey, Yue and Ying, isn't it a bit too much to lean on Xiao like this?" It was none other than Yurong, and blood coming out of my nostrils. I thought, well, they three are all here now, why do I feel as if they have come prepared tonight? They were all surrounding me, and I was thinking 40 other junior sisters look good, too, but they are in a different league to these three. The only one who surpasses them in looks is the fair master. Then some girl is shouted, "Here comes the head. Let the celebration banquet officially begin," and I thought, speak of the devil. She sauntered towards the shimmering pool, her swim set gleaming in the noon light, while I stood nearby, utterly captivated.